So you just launched a brand new Facebook ad campaign to promote your new song on Spotify, but things aren't going well. You're spending too much money, you're not getting conversions, or you are getting conversions, worst case scenario, and they aren't turning into streams. Well, in this video, we're going to look at several things that can go wrong with the new Facebook ad campaign, and I'm going to tell you how to fix them. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's Tom. Welcome back to the lab. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my life. Today, we're looking at how to make changes to a new or fairly new Facebook ad campaign that just isn't working. I've been doing Facebook ad videos for a while now on the channel, and fortunately, thanks to you guys, I've gotten a lot of comments about things that aren't working and questions about how to fix them. Now, we've addressed many of those in other videos on this channel, which you can check out at your leisure, but there are many that I haven't answered in videos yet. Specifically for this video, this is part 10 in our 11-part series, Top 10 Mistakes when Using Facebook Ads to Promote Your Music on Spotify. The 10th bullet point, or the 9th bullet point in the original video, which if you haven't watched the kickoff video for this series, you can check that out right here. The bullet point that this video is referencing from that video is not to make too many changes to an ad campaign at once. This is a lesson that I learned the hard way by fixing and adjusting a ton of different stuff all at the same time for a campaign that wasn't performing well. What I want to do is walk through some of the things I've experienced and some of the things that I've heard you guys have experienced, and we're going to talk about how to address those things systematically and identify what the problem is with your ad campaign, and then figure out how to fix it. So you started a campaign and it's not doing great. Maybe your cost per conversion is really high. Maybe you're not getting many conversions, or maybe you are getting a ton of conversions and they're not translating to streams. That third one is the most common one I've been hearing about, especially recently. Well, this can happen at a few different levels within your campaign. So let's take a step back and let's talk about some assumptions for this video. Let's assume you're running a budget of $5 to $10 a day or more. The bare minimum $5 a day. And then let's assume you have your campaign with one ad set and then up to 6 pieces of creative content, 6 separate ad options within the ad portion to split test. Ideally, you have at least 2 up to 6. Okay, these are the assumptions we're working with. Now, with a campaign set up like this, from the time you start it until the time you get out of the learning phase, ideally, it should take no longer than 2 days. Now, if you haven't gotten out of the learning phase within the first 2 days, that means you're not getting enough conversions. And furthermore, that means your cost per conversion is likely going to be pretty high. Me, when I'm starting out a fresh campaign, I like to start on day one with a cost per conversion no more than 35 to 40 cents, because I know that that's going to cut at least in half, and then I can pull that down from there with some lookalike audiences and different targeting options. But if it starts above 40 cents, then that's not good. Odds are you probably got an issue there. The first place you want to look is at your creative, at the ad level. Look at all of your ads. Are there any ads that are outperforming everything else? Or are they not getting enough conversions at all across the board? If there's one that's outperforming everything else, then after the first 3 days of running your ad, you want to turn off the ones that suck. Turn off all the bad ads and just leave the good one alive. That way they're not eating up any of your budget. Now, after that, let's say you are getting a lot of conversions and you've got a good cost per conversion, but you're not getting any traffic to Spotify. Let's say that you're getting a lot of traffic to your landing page and your landing page is telling you you're getting a lot of traffic, but nobody's listening. Well, here's the way you want to handle that. Look at Facebook. Look at the countries where you are getting the most traffic. Or if you're in one country, look at the cities and the areas within your country where you're getting the most traffic. Cross-reference that with where your audience is listening on Spotify. Compare the 2 lists of countries. If you're getting a lot of conversions from Facebook and not a lot of streams from that ad campaign on Spotify, it is very, very likely that there are going to be a couple, if not more, countries in your targeting on Facebook that stand out as generating the bulk of your traffic that isn't reflected on Spotify. So if you've got a ton of people coming from, just pick a country, Brazil, but nobody in Brazil is listening to your music on Spotify, you need to turn off Brazil on your targeting. Because what has happened is your ad campaign has stumbled onto a low cost per click and is trying to target in on that low cost per click option, but that low cost per click option is not converting into listeners. Because even though a conversion campaign does defend against bots or bad traffic much better than a traffic or link click campaign, it still does happen. It's unfortunate. The algorithm's not perfect. The Facebook ad platform is not perfect. It's very advanced and it's very good, but sometimes it needs our help. And this is one of those cases. So look at your country lists here and here, compare the two, and in your ad set, turn off the targeting or exclude those countries where the bad traffic is coming from. Now, the next part. Let's say you've done that. You've checked your country list. You've checked your country list on Spotify. You've turned off the bad ones. You've narrowed down your ad creative, and you've got the best performing ad, one or two of them, and things still aren't coming down where you want them to. The next option that you want to pursue is checking your targeting. If it's still really bad, then you've likely got a problem with your targeting. Maybe you're targeting electronic music and you need to be targeting rock. Maybe you're targeting a hip hop artist, but you really should be targeting a pop artist. Take a look at what you're going after and also take a look at the audience size. Ideally, a cold audience should be at least 10 million people, all the way up to 50 million people. If you need to include a genre in there, like targeting pop music or targeting hip hop music or targeting EDM, like do that. Make sure that audience is broad enough to get a nice pool of people to look through for Facebook. And then let's say one step further that I haven't mentioned yet. You do all of that. You've checked your ads, you've checked your countries, you have reconfirmed the targeting that you have. And let's say you've come down to a place where you're happy, but you could get it lower. That's when your lookalike audiences come into play. That's when you start creating custom audiences based off of people who have viewed your video for your ad and people who have clicked through and triggered the view content metric on Facebook. So you want to take those two features, create custom audiences, and then create lookalike audiences off of those custom audiences, and then test an ad set against your cold audience ad set with the new lookalike audience. Maybe one for video viewers and one for view content. Once you do all of that, this should get you to the lowest possible cost per conversion for your ad. And it should continue to optimize a little bit better over time. But these are all steps you can take to examine exactly why your ads aren't working. And trust me, we've all been there. I have experienced this a lot. I know a lot of you have experienced this a lot. There is a solution. If you come out of the gate and things just aren't working, I promise you, it is fixable. You just have to go through the proper steps to get to it. And the most important thing out of all of this, if you have one takeaway from this entire video of how to fix and address these things, don't do all of this at one time. Stagger it out. Take every 3 days and make a different change. Don't wait 3 days after your campaign launches and do the whole list of stuff. You want to give a 3-day window between any significant change. That way, A, you don't completely ruin your campaign. And B, you don't re-enter the learning phase if you don't have to. Now, if you're messing with targeting at the ad set level, you're going to go back into the learning phase. If you're removing countries or if you're changing artists that you're looking at, it's going to happen. There's no way around it. But at least you'll know what change is to blame or to credit for an increase or decrease in cost. If you change everything at one time, you're going to go back into the learning phase. And also, you're not going to know what fixed it or made it worse if either one ends up being the case. Launch your campaign, wait 3 days. If a change needs to be made, make your first change. Look at all of the options that are available. Look at the ads, look at the countries compared to Spotify and Facebook, and then look at your artist you're targeting. Determine the one that you think is the biggest problem. Change that. Wait 3 days. If it's still not there, look at one of the other two. Change that. 3 days more. If you need to change the third one, do that. And then 3 days after that, that's when you can start throwing in some lookalike audiences, and see if you can't bring it down further. I know this is something a lot of you experience. I've experienced a lot. I have talked to many of you on Instagram, the DMs, and in the comments, and even via email that have hit me up. I know that these things work. I've helped walk through ad campaigns with many of you, and these things have helped. So if you're having trouble with your ad campaign, try these things and it should bring the cost down for you. So that's it for this video. Before I let you go, as always, I'm going to remind you to subscribe to the channel, please. If you like stuff about Facebook, ads, and music, and Spotify, business, branding, marketing, all the stuff, I'm constantly testing and trying things and sharing it here on the channel. So I hope that you will join me. If you like this video, click the like button, share it with your friends, and turn on notifications too if you're feeling it. As always, at the end here, there's some stuff you can check out. The series we're in that this is a part of, Top 10 Mistakes When Using Facebook Ads to Promote Your Music on Spotify, is here at the top. The previous video in this series is here at the bottom. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.